Hello. Welcome to this edition of the Haven Church broadcast, this special Mother's Day edition. And it is very special because today I have my mother with me, or I'm with her, and so I would like to welcome her today.
Thank you, Matthew.
So today we are celebrating Mother's Day, or the spirit of Mother's Day and the spirit of motherhood. And I was thinking this morning of a statement made, or something like this, of Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am, I owe to my mother. And if one of the first presidents of the United States can make a statement like that, then we should probably stop and take notice of it. As a matter of fact, to my left, to this direction, down the hall, is my bedroom here at Mom's. And in there is a bed that has been perfectly, to the best of my ability, made this morning. And, well, where did I learn that? I learned that from my mommy. She would work with me and tell me, Matthew, honey, you need to make your bed. And she would show me how and work me through the process until the fact now that I can make my own bed. And now that's a two-edged sword for me because one, I'm like, hoorah, and maybe you're like, well, way to go, you know. But also, I know that my wife is going to hear this, and she's going to be like, Matthew, why do you not make your bed now? And so this will prompt me to do so in the future, I'm sure. But I learned that from my mommy, and many other things I learned from my mother. And so we are celebrating that and that spirit of motherhood today. And so I'm so thankful she's with us. Mom, why don't you do this? Since we're talking about motherhood, why don't you tell us a little bit about your mommy?
My mommy and daddy both are already in heaven. They're at peace and don't have to fight anymore.
Right, sure.
But they raised us in church to know Jesus with lots of discipline, along with lots of love, and
Sure.
Showing us right from wrong, letting us have a good time and do things, but also in the right way.
Right, yes.
And I love her for that. The love she gave us, I was able to, when I had my son and daughter, to show that love. Not in no perfect way, but my way, in the best I could.
Right.
If you would ask Matthew, he would say his sister Crystal tried to kill him all the time. And if you would ask Crystal, she would say, Mom didn't let us get out and play and get muddy and get out in the cold enough. But I done what I done for love.
Right.
And
sure.
although they fought a lot, they would fight for each other today.
Sure.
They would stand up for each other with all that bond and that love.
Yes.
And that shows me that I did something right.
Sure.
For them to have that love and bond between each other, and then I get it in return from both of them, and I'm very proud of them.
Yes. Amen. That's great, Mommy. That is great. That is great. She mentioned something there that kind of caught my attention, and it's this. The spirit of motherhood that we're celebrating today is not some kind of perfection. You know, as a kid, I remember going to church, and Mother's Day would look something like this. We'd all gather in and we'd all be dressed up, you know, we'd be in our best, and here's mothers that's got kids that they're trying to rally them all in, you know, older kids, and so they got kids and grandkids, and some of them fill up 2 or 3 pews, remember?
Yeah.
And there they'd be just a whole lot of them. And so the message lots of times on that Sunday morning, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, you know, it's just a reality, is that it would be mentioned in the different, you know, attributes of motherhood or biblical mothers. And, you know, we love to talk about the Sarahs that had Isaac. We love to talk about the Jochebed that put Moses, you know, made the basket and put Moses in the river and let him go. And then what faith to put him into the hands of God. in such a way as that, or Hannah that would pray and pray in such a degree that the priest thought she was drunk. And she's saying, "Oh God, I want a son. If you give me a son, I'll give him to you." And so God honored that and gave her a son, and she gave him back to the Lord. And then she'd leave him when he's weaned, and then she'd make him a coat and bring it when she'd come to visit. And all those are wonderful things that we can take away from them. And the message would lots of times go along those lines. Or how about Mary, the mother of Jesus, the mother of the Son of God? And so they would usually take that direction. And I like that because I like that we can find, godly examples in the Bible of women that followed that line of faith. But lots of times they would go that direction. Or even Timothy, who Paul said, "Timothy, you're a good man." And I found that faith in your grandmother Lois, and then in your mother Eunice. And that's a great thought. And the messages would go along those lines. But sometimes it would be a challenge to do more and to be better and these things. And then they close it up and and give the invitation for someone to accept the Lord. And then we give out flowers. Remember giving out the flowers. And so you have what? The youngest mother, the oldest mother, and the mother with the most kids. And they would get flowers. And I got these flowers sitting here on purpose today because a couple weeks ago I came in to see Mom, and I was on my way in, and I remembered that verse that said, "Don't go see the prophet without a gift." and so I swing in the grocery store down at Grayson, and the flower department's closed, but I kindly asked that gentleman if I could get in there, and he did. He let me in, and I'm picking out these flowers for Mom, and I bring them to her. And then today I realized, those are the exact type of flowers. We got these, this hanging basket. This is the flower that would get given out for the mom with the most kids at church that day. And so I was laughing this morning when I realized that. And so we'd give out some flowers, and then we would leave, and we would go back and go our way back out in our thing. And, when we was preparing for Mother's Day this year, some of us have discussed we want to do something a little different, something a little more. Not tearing down anything before, but kind of building upon. And so we want to look at the spirit of motherhood. Because just as much as those godly examples are in the Bible, there's also like Jezebel. Nobody says, nobody looks back at Jezebel. She was a mother. She's at least got one son that turned out to be a king, and maybe one of the other kings is her son. It kind of elusive, but one of them for sure. And nobody says, "Oh, look at Jezebel. She was such a great mom." No, because there was wickedness, there was treachery, there was deceit, power hungry. They had money, they had power. I mean, one of her sons turned out to be the king. I mean, you don't get no more power than that. But the spirit of motherhood was not there. And so today, I want to ask you to do something for us. I want you to think, who has been a motherly example to you, right? Because not all of your stories, let's listen to this, are all textbook. Now, I have got a good mommy. And as I look back, she sacrificed. My mommy sacrificed for us. I told her my wedding, I remember, being a kid, and I was a spoiled little brat baby boy, brat boy. But I remember, I wanted these Air Jordans. I wanted some J's, I mean, you around Portland. I got a friend that told me, they said, that's in Portland. He said, we don't got houses. Lots of us don't got no houses. We don't got no cars. He said, but we got a new pair of J's, a new pair of Jordans. And so I wanted this pair of Jordans, and my mom saved and scraped to buy me these shoes, because I wanted to play basketball in them. And I remember that. And, I wasn't thankful and stuff, but I am today. As I look back on it, self-sacrifice, investing, being there, love,
listening. Does any of you, some of you, your mother maybe was not there. Maybe she put men before you, and so you was tossed around and different men was in and out. Maybe she was addicted. Maybe she had some other issues. I can't relate to that directly, but some of you can. Or maybe you're sad today because this is a whole different thing, but I just want to touch it and go because I want to hurry. But Mom mentioned that her mommy's already in heaven. And maybe some of you today have visited the grave site where your mommy was, or you've thought about it. Maybe some of you go on Memorial Day. But, your mommy's already in heaven, and so you can't do what we're doing today. And so I thank God for this time. But maybe when you look back, yours is not like mine or like Mom's. Maybe yours is bad. Maybe you was beat. Maybe you was molested. God forbid. Maybe went down that road. And so today we're not urging you to try to fake it till you make it. We're not doing that at all. What we're doing is we're trying to tell you today, look for the spirit of motherhood. Was there somebody in your life that invested in you in that way, or somebody that's investing in you that way now that's giving you love, self-sacrifice, nourishment, care, consideration, listening to you? And then maybe you're on the receiving end of it, and maybe today is a day where you can find hope and healing in what we're saying in the videos to come, and I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. You can find hope and healing at the feet of God, to where He can do something in us that causes us to release that and not hold on to that and squeeze that and let it just cripple us. Or maybe today you're on the end of things to where that you are the one who wasn't there, who didn't do it right, who didn't get it right. Mom was talking about imperfections, and we've all got them. We just prayed over this video this morning. Me and Mom was holding hands, and I said, Lord, would you take this message, this video, from some broken people that you've touched their lives, to speak to other broken people, maybe even way more broken than we are. So that's what we're shooting for today. If you're the one that's offended, or you're the one that's done it and you messed up, listen, it's not over. There's still hope. We want you to find that today. I want you to find that today in this spirit of motherhood, in this looking deeper, higher, looking at Christ, looking at God, looking at our Creator. And I don't want to start throwing out cliches and you turn us off. But that's what we're doing today. And so I am thankful to have my mommy with us. And I want you to know that we got a very, very special guest speaker this Mother's Day. This is not the message. This is just a prelude. Prelude, whatever. This is just an introduction to it. This is just a little video getting you geared up. And it is my wife. She, a couple weeks ago, I felt so impressed. And I felt God laying on my heart. So I told her, I said, honey, I would like you to pray about something for me. I would like you to pray about speaking for Mother's Day and doing a video for Haven Church. And she was a little reluctant, but she said, I'll pray. And so she prayed, and she said, you know what, Matthew, I believe God has laid something on my heart. And I said, well, thank you, Lord. And so I want you to be looking, because there's another video that's going to be uploaded after this one, and it's going to be Esther. And she's going to be sharing her heart with us about Mother's Day. And so I know you're going to be blessed. I know it's going to be good, and so let's look for that. And then also, if you are an attendee of Haven Church, there is a little video also that's going to be tagged on and sent out to you by a link. So be looking for that. It's a little special video. It is not me. It is not Esther. It's something different, but you will be blessed. So be looking for that. Be watching for the link. Be watching for the next video to upload for the message for this Mother's Day. And we do pray that you're blessed today. Mom, any last words you want to say?
I'm just very happy, and I am surely blessed. The only thing that can make this day any better is if we had Crystal here with us. But she couldn't be here, but I am truly blessed.
Amen. Thank you so much for listening.